Hey team, this semester we've had a lot of time to look at what we believe is an effective leadership style and other styles that don't quite compare or add up to be as effective as others. And for my purpose of leadership, I believe that I don't want to be the boss that everyone loves to hate. I don't want to be the manager that all of my subordinates love to go out to happy hour and bash. I understand that there's sometimes a rite of passage to hate the boss, but as long as it's not sincere, as long as it's a fun gesturing or joshing, it's entirely different. But as we learned in a reading earlier this year, managers that are just nice with their employees aren't exactly getting as much out of them. It's still important to remember that even though we have this passion to be liked, we still need to push employees in order to create a full circle, if you will. The real challenge in a leadership role is that we don't only have to create a bond between us and our employees, but we also have to make sure that they're striving to reach their full potential and we're pushing them to do so. In order to do that, the first thing that comes to mind is the Coach K article, mainly because it's the most recent and freshest in our minds. Coach K for Duke's basketball program says he loves every single one of those players. But the one article, the one player said behind closed doors, you make sure that you get your things done. If you aren't giving him 100%, then you're not giving his program 100%, and it creates this vacuum that needs to be fulfilled. He loves you. No questions asked. You just have to make sure you give him 110% every single day. Now, with the thought of an emotional connection that we just made, we have to also take into consideration the case we read earlier in the semester about whether we are taking the dark side of emotional intelligence and using that to our benefit. If we believe that we can use our fake empathy to coerce someone into getting something that we need, that creates this whole new pitfall that isn't morally correct. We have to make sure that this, or in this case, Coach K's love is sincere and that we are showing that to our employees and not just using their emotions as a gain. Make sure that we're not just taking advantage of them so that we can get what we want and that everyone can stay in a harmonious effect. And lastly, the final case in the semester that I thought really hit me for my purpose of leadership was the parable of the Sadhu. I found it really saddening, I'd say, and amazingly eye-opening that there can be a point where our quote-unquote goals or our hopes or our dreams are worth more to us than the life of an entirely human being. And I thought that that was a look into the human soul, and it depends on each person, but my purpose of leadership, I wouldn't say is to achieve certain hopes or dreams or aspirations. I want to help enhance, mainly like a coach. I'd love to give people this feeling that they have grown, they have become better for having been around me. Much to Mindy's point of what footsteps are we leaving in today's society. And my footsteps for anyone that has worked under me or that I have in any way had the privilege of leading, I would love for them to look back and say that even if we didn't achieve the overall goal, that they learned something, they became better at this, or they are a better person because of it. And that is my purpose of leadership.